Well, we're looking at some reforms we have passed in the Senate, reforms that will do with some of the cost of retirement. But we also need to look at areas like expired contracts that we're still sequestering money for. That's very hard. That's impossible to defend. We need to look at our prison system and how we're spending money there, like for eyeglasses. Every other state except for Michigan allows about 2 different choices for frames. In Michigan, we allow 12 different types of eye frames, and that's an unnecessary expense. We need to look at the Department of Human Services and make sure that it's well run. We're looking at, and specifically for human services, privatizing some of the foster care. The goal with that is to, well, improve the quality of care. As we privatize it, we're going to make sure that those that deliver care are certified. In the past, we didn't do that. Some folks listening today may remember Ricky Holland, who was starved, beaten, and ultimately killed. And I think he had sisters that were placed with the same people. Well, we did do some things to deal with that terrible tragedy within the Department of Human Services, but kids only have one opportunity to grow up. That needs to be done well, and the department needs to be efficient in doing that. And by the way, to further that along, I'm also introducing a bill to make it easier for the transition from foster care to adoption. Those are the sort of things for our young people if they're to become productive and happy individuals and have a decent life, that we have to do well. We have one chance at it. It should be done right. The very best people that are available should be available. We should look for them for foster care. And I like the idea that they're going to be certified. I also like the idea that the Department of Human Services will be able to oversee that. So that's a big area for doing things somewhat better. We should look at whether or not the food services in the prison could be delivered a lot more efficiently if they were privatized. We should take a look also at things like custodians. I'm told that custodians in some of our universities, when you add up their benefit packages today, are costing in the neighborhood of $50,000 a year. It's a pretty good job. Is it appropriately paid? Should that be privatized? And we need to do some things to look at that. In the budget that I'm responsible for, community health, we've got 7 or 8 studies at least that we're initiating to look at the ways that we can be more efficient in spending the people's money, the ways we can streamline government, ways we can be more accountable. And there are things on the other end that need to be done. We need to have an ombudsman. I run all the time into people who say they can't get an answer from government. And we need to be able to do that. If people have questions, they should get an answer promptly. So that's the long-winded answer to your question.
That's okay. Those reforms are important, and will really put a mark on where Michigan goes in the years ahead, depending on how many of those we are able to enact in the months and years ahead. Well, we have already gone through our allotted time, but I'd like to thank you for joining with me and sharing some of the reforms that are moving forward, and giving members of your residents of your district a chance to hear all about it. But thanks for joining us, and we'd like to thank all of you in the listening audience and the viewing audience for being with us today. This has been the Capitol Report with State Senator Roger Kahn. Thank you for joining us.